If you haven't seen my work before, my name is Lucas and I'm predominantly working in sports and motorsport particularly, and so it's usually a solo shooter type situation where obviously I need to completely operate the kit by myself out in very fast-paced situations, so I need to be quick on my feet, lightweight. I'm going to talk a little bit about the lenses that I have in my kit and why I use them. So one thing I should note, I'm not being paid by any of the manufacturers mentioned in this video. These are all lenses that I bought with my own money. They are mostly Sony lenses because I shoot on Sony. I use a Sony A7IV and a Sony FX30 currently. We'll go from the widest focal length down to my telephoto lenses. So we'll start off with the lens that I think I've had in this kit out of the longest time, which is my 20mm f1.8. Now, I love this lens. It's the lens I'm using to shoot this video right now. It's an incredible lens. I've made videos about it in the past, but it's just that little bit different to your traditional prime. It's a super versatile lens. It's got that sort of larger than life wide feel, but in a super small, compact prime lens that you can sort of stick in unusual situations. But it's also perfectly good to use as a talking head camera. It's also pretty quick at f1.8, which is great for that low light shooting. I really like how the bokeh falls off on this lens as well. It's a pretty clean look. It's not particularly crazy or distorted. It just works really well. There's not that many people I see working with it, and it's something I would highly recommend you check out. The next lens is the latest addition to my kit, but probably the lens I should have had a long time ago, but it's my sort of standard zoom lens, which is my 24-50 G lens. A lot of people would expect me to have a 24-70, and to be honest, I haven't had a 24-70 ever. I've never owned a 24-70. I've used one many times, and something I sort of put off owning for a really long time because I wanted my work to feel and look a little bit different. Although it got to a point working in sports where I did need a bit more of that versatility, which is why I decided to pick this lens up. And I decided to go with the 24-50 because, I mean, look how small it is. It's tiny, which is amazing, and I love it. I love the fact it's the same size as my 20mm and some of my other lenses as well. And that just means it's amazing for putting on a gimbal because it's not very heavy, it's very small, so it's easy to balance. It's just very compact, which when you're traveling as much as I do, that really counts. The more stuff I can fit in my rucksack, the better, and the more efficient I can be. So the size and the weight of a lens really has a massive impact on whether it's something that works for me. Really versatile, and I actually think it's probably better than a 24-70 for most people. It does have like an inverted zoom, which is kind of funny. It's got some quirks, but I really love it. And it's a relatively affordable lens as well. So for those of you that are getting into this, it's not a lens that you're gonna have to spend thousands and thousands of pounds on. It's almost fully replaced my 20mm, which I'm sort of sad to admit, but basically if you only needed one lens for everything, then this would be the lens you would choose. My final little compact lens is my 85mm f1.8, and I've had this lens for a really long time, 3-4 years maybe. It's a fantastic lens. Like it's not the expensive one by any means. It's not even a G series lens. It's just the standard 1.8. I don't know how much they are these days, but they can't be very expensive because it's been out for like 10 years or something crazy. I really like 85mm as a focal length. It's just that focal length that can make almost any subject look pretty, to be honest. So if I'm ever struggling for sort of B-roll inspiration or trying to really get some depth out of a subject, then 85 is usually the focal length that I go to. Being 1.8 is great in low light, so it's nice for that compression when, yeah, your longer telephotos don't quite have that low light ability. Super small, like these lenses are just super compact, so you can put it on a gimbal if you want to do that, but it's something that I have been able to call on time and time again, and that's ultimately one of the most important things, that it's something I can rely on. Autofocus still works great, and it's got a great look and feel. I think it's better than all of the third-party 85s at this sort of price point. I have tried a few others, and the Sony one is by far and away still the best. I do get tempted to upgrade it to an f1.4, but at the same time, like, this does everything I need it to do. That's it for compact lenses, because we're getting on to the telephoto stuff now. This is my Sigma 70-200 f2.8. When compared to the rest of my kit, my biggest lens by a long way, but not even on the scale of big. when it comes to sports lenses that I see in the motorsport paddock, but it's a very reliable zoom telephoto lens. It's not maybe the most interesting lens or the most creative lens, but it's a really necessary lens when it comes to doing sport. You do often find yourself in situations where your subjects are very far away on racetracks and you need to go right up to the edge of this lens. What I like about this lens is a very affordable way into an f2.8. It's a relatively new lens. This was like huge when it dropped because I think it's probably about 90% the quality of a G Master lens, I think about half the price. Again, I picked this one up secondhand and it's on my camera, I mean, near enough 90% of the time when I'm out on track. The autofocus is excellent as well. It has its quirks again, like the zoom ring being at the end, but one thing I do love about it is the fact that it doesn't extend, so it just means that the lens is so much more balanced in your hand and on your rig. Ultimately, it's also not that big. For a lens of this quality and this size, it's still relatively compact. Fits right at home once I've rigged up my camera a little bit more. It's a really, really solid lens. I've put this thing through its paces and through a lot of weather as well. Like typically within sport, you are going to find yourself shooting in a variety of weather conditions, and all of these lenses, to be fair to them, have put up with that extremely well. The nice thing about all of these lenses, because I'm using an A7IV which crops in slow motion, and the FX30 which has an APS-C size sensor, I'm getting sort of two focal lengths out of everything. So this actually becomes like a 100 to 300 lens, which just gives me that extra reach which I often need. And then my 85 becomes like a 120 or something like that, and that just gives me that versatility that I need, so I don't need to carry 5 more lenses and have a massive amount of kit with me. I can keep my kit relatively compact and simple and effectively get a really wide range of focal lengths. I've chopped and changed other lenses in the past, but at the moment this is the combination that has really worked for me. I am quite interested in potentially getting a really wide lens, like a 10mm. There's that 10mm from Laowa that looks really cool. I'd love to try that out. None of these lenses are extortionately expensive. I think they're all under £1,000 by some margin. So yeah, it's a relatively entry level kit. Let me know what sort of kits that you're using for your type of work. I always find it so interesting to read about how different people are using different kits. This is my kit. Hope you found this video useful. And if you are interested in seeing a bit more of my work, you can check it out over on my Instagram and expect some more videos over here on the YouTube channel very soon. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.